Yo, yo, black as out, now. I don't care if I sound fake for the people in the back. You! All right, we are back. This is your boy Tafari, and let's get to it, man.
I already know what time it is. Because we're back. New scenery. We in the lab. It's your boy, Mr. Deshaun Webb. Welcome back.
Good to be back, fellas. I don't know, it's Mr. P. Now we get into it.
All right, so I set up this no veto episode with all topics I want to talk about. Nobody know what we talking about because we hijacking this bit. All right. Okay, so let's get straight into it. If you had a choice between receiving $1 million right now or $100,000 on January 1st every year for the rest of your life, what are you choosing?
I am going with $1 million right now.
All right, Bryan, what about you?
Is $1 million right now or what?
$1 million right now or 100,000 every January 1st for the rest of your life?
I'm gonna take the 100,000 every January for something to look forward to.
You see, I agree with Bryan in this case, and the reason I wanted to bring this up as the first topic is because a lot of people would say that million, but I don't believe that most people would make much of that million. As much as $1 million is, you always hear rich people say, $1 million ain't a lot of money. If you know what you're doing with your money, that's all fine. But the average person, and the people are mostly saying this, they're gonna blow that $1 million in a year.
I could see that.
I feel like they definitely, like, hands down, they're gonna blow that $1 million in a year.
This is my
Because, check it.
So $100,000 a year. That sounds great, cool. But that's $1 million. That's 10 years later. So in 10 years, you'll catch up to me. By that time, I'm already 40. For me, I'm pretty financially literate now. While I do not know if I could turn $1 million into $100,000 a year, I know for a fact I could turn $1 million into at least $40,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? Probably even possibly depending on all the things I know and if investments work correctly. But I rather just take the $1 million now, invest in the real estate now. That way, in case of anything, and I have children. If I don't make it to 10 years, I rather have that money and that network in my pocket now to at least leave back for them in the unforsaken future that I die sometimes. So I'll take it now, and if I end up making less, then that's fine with me. You know what I'm saying? I can't sit on here and look at how much I could have possibly make. Otherwise, I'd be doing that and I'd be forever be unhappy. I'll just take that now, hire a financial advisor, continue to do some of the things I'm doing already, and then make a good living after that and be content with that.
You see, that's a good answer for the person taking $1 million. For sure. With 100,000 now though. I mean, like Bryan said, you could expect that every year. I don't plan on stop working. So I still gonna be making my normal income, and I'll be able to get a recurring payment every year. So that's great. But back to that average person and just breaking down what the hell the typical person would do with $1 million. First of all, most of us out here, most of the people out in these streets is not financially literate. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Yo, Ras, yes, you. I talking to you that said you choosing $1 million, not you, Web. You don't come. Yo, Ras going to buy. Your budget was originally $420,000 for a house. Your ass went and buy a $600,000 house cash. That makes sense? Come on. No. You had a walking car. But your ass went and buy a $70,000 fully equipped something. You were going on a $2,000 trip. But your ass spent $20,000 instead.
Ain't only right that they're going to do this when they get the money. They're doing this now, bro. Like they're doing this already.
Exactly.
With less money.
Exactly. They're doing that right now. So all of them that saying $1 million, that shit going to run out in no time. You know how much stories I hear about man that make their first million and they blow it in a day?
That's the crazy shit about it, right? And I get it. It sounds real easy. 'Cause we associate every problem with just a lack of enough money, which that's a major problem, not having enough money to do certain things. But what people don't take into consideration is you're starting at a place with no financial literacy, right? Making dumb decisions with the little money you have. You have less
Right.
money to make dumb decisions, and you're making it. No, there is countless and countless and countless of examples of people who have the money, not even 1 million. We're talking about millions and making bad investments. There's people who've been in real estate for years and making bad in real estate investment moves sometimes. And you telling me, you, Johnny, on the street who don't
You
have
think
no
you just
knowledge
get
of
it
you,
and you're
yeah,
going
like
to be
all of a
success.
sudden you's a real
No,
estate fucking mogul. You know how to work the stock market, even though you even flip $5,000. You going to flip? Come on, bro. Come
but
on, man. Make it
that's it
make
right there where you hit that right there for me, Web. Like a lot of people, like when they said I'm that million, the first thing that comes out your mouth is, "Oh, I gonna invest. Invest in what? Right now, what are you currently investing with your current network? Nothing. So you just feel like, okay, I get blessed with this, and I'm just gonna be like, yep, I'm just gonna jump in. I'm gonna trust whatever I see popping off, and I'm gonna dive in for it. No, that's not how it works. Like you have no background in the real estate market. Yes, I'm gonna buy some homes and some apartments and rent it so I could get that passive income by tossing around nowadays. Doesn't just work like that, like So I ain't happy on the glitz and the glam of the million. The million sound good, but for other reasons outside of what you said, Deshaun, just in case you don't make it, I still don't prefer the $100,000 because one big thing that I think a lot of people leave out, like when you get our money, is I guess the kind of person you are. You'll be more willing to give out a lending hand, or you may, get new cousins that come out the woodwork and Auntie sick and Susie this and Susie that because that million son, okay, is enough to spread around. The beggars and the sickness and the cousins that tend to shrink when they just have $100,000 because that's just an everyday in this market. $100,000 like that's a common thing for most people. It's like, those hands aren't going to reach out as much, and I won't have that burden of like, oh, I have a million, and I could really just give you $50,000. Like if I have $100,000, I'm not gonna say I'm giving up half my money. You check what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it gives me more control and more discipline by having that set figure and something to look forward for. Like for I said, we're not giving up our everyday job, but we know like I could do this and then I still have that extra $100,000 coming in that I could play around with. And if I screw up this year with my $100,000, I could be like, okay,
you at least
bim,
know.
I screw up and I have that coming again next year. If I screw up that million, I gonna just be Bryan, the dude who had a million and squander it. Enough for me. You don't want enough for me, and I don't want enough for you. You check what I say. So they gonna give me that discipline starting small because I could build on top of $100,000 and I could afford to make a mistake here. I could make a bad investment here, and I'd be like, okay, I still get my day-to-day job. And guess what? January 1st, I get blessed with another. It's like a restart. I love that. So I could either continue to build, I could try out whatever ventures and see what works for me if I screw up. So I stay 100,000. God's spirit life, I could deal with it. Far
I'm
away,
with you on that one, man. I'm with you on that one 1,000%. Yeah, that million sound nice. That million sound nice. But though I have some type of experience with my financial literacy and increasing it as the days go by, I know that I could also be impulsive. I know. I wouldn't do a $600,000 house all cash. No, that's just ridiculously not smart. But I would be impulsive to do a little extra, and then you know how it be sometimes, especially when we are younger. You have all that money, you have a lot of money. You ain't really looking at the bank account as much. You just swiping. You just swiping because you know that the bank account healthy until you finally decide to look, and that million, god damn, 250. Okay, on there. and then his 250 still feel comfortable, so you still swiping. You check again a few weeks later, god damn, 97. 97 still a little good though. So you keep going until
Yeah.
you on that now you sub 10,000 and you like, shit. Let me kind of hold my coins real close now. And it's until it reaches to that low level, that low bar, that you deciding to hold your coins. So that happens a lot. That happens with a lot of people, even myself included sometimes. So that's why I would go with $100,000 without a doubt. All right. And Webb, you mentioned something that man currently right now trying to live like that even without the money. Just making stupid decisions, shit like that. And that reminded me about this whole concept about faking it till you make it. And while I do agree that there is some logic behind faking it till you make it, I do think that a lot of people just stupid. And they're faking it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
What y'all think about that?
I think people will convince themselves with this fake it or till you make it mentality to justify them buying shit that they don't need to buy. Because it's not like you like when we say when at least the people that are speaking about fake it till you make it positively is not in the sense of, hey, go and spend money to live this fake lifestyle that you should be saving money to fund. That doesn't make sense now, does it? You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I want to fake it till I make it, so I go and buy a Gucci bag and I gotta make sure I look. No, that's the same money that you're supposed to be investing with. The fake it till you make it to me is kind of the mentality and not necessarily the items and the materialistic aspect of it. You know what I'm saying? Like fake the mentality, act like you're this person. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, you could dress up nice, but you don't need to dress up in Prada, Gucci, all these things to, you know what I'm saying? Or for some people who will take the fake it till you make it serious, buy the fake shit. The problem is nobody wants to wear the fake shit. They want to still get a real shit to appear real. And all they're doing is convincing themselves to do so because the real root cause of it is they want to impress everybody else because
Try and flex.
status. Yeah, they try and flex. They want that status symbol. That's all these things is worth. Status. That's my take on it at least.
Yeah, I don't even have to double down. We're done. I agree 100% along the lanes. I ain't gonna beat that down. Stop. Get your mind right before you check your pocket right. Period.
Exactly, people. If you faking it just to flex and look like you're making it, that is absolutely ridiculous. That's stupid. Get your mind right, like Bryan said. That don't make any sense. All you doing is emptying your pockets and actually just really being broke. All right. Instead, if you're faking it, what I was going to say. Instead, I mean, if you need to buy something nice, buy it for the sake of intention. Buy a nice suit or rent a nice suit if you go into a certain place to get a good impression, to speak to people, you networking, you have an intention behind why are you faking it. You can't necessarily really afford a next suit. You kind of have to squander that money and get your coins, even maybe ask for a 10 here and there just to be able to get a suit. But it was for a reason that's greater than just looking good and going on to the next material thing to buy. All right, so have intention behind your faking it till you make it, and I'm fully with you on that. But if it's just to flex, fig you, man.
The thing is, right, even when they're faking it, like usually when they're faking it, they're trying to emulate. They probably have a person in their head or a group of people that they're trying to emulate, right? Mm-hmm. But then you go into the club every weekend. These people ain't in the club every weekend. Like, like you're not even a good fake now. Like, people have investments. Like you ain't out there fake investing. You take one part of the blueprint, wearing some clothes, buying some chain.
Yeah, like that's
everything
1%. What happened to the rest of the pie chat? Like that's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like they buying things they can afford. You outside of your price range. Like you look a terrible fake to me. You know what I'm saying? That's like the fake Gucci but the G upside down. You looking like an upside down G right now. You know what I'm saying? Like what game?
Yeah, damn.
Yeah,
not the upside down G.
With his spirit,
that's true. You outside flexing your finances upside down. That's crazy.
That's a bad fake.
That's
Y'all ever
crazy.
see that video where the spirit guy, and if I could find it, we're gonna put it on the screen.
Because what had happened was,
That's what he said.
we gonna know it's fake. Because when we get to Atlanta, or not even before that, when we reach 5,000 feet, the G's will fall off of the depressurization.
No, he did
And you will
not.
arrive in Atlanta with a Uchi bag. Oh, I'm gonna talk about you.
Uchi, by the time we land in Fort Lauderdale, you're gonna have that Uchi. That's it. What? Hey, so but yeah, come on, man. Play the game right, man. It's not well. Let me not say it's not hard to get to where you want to be. It's extremely hard, but find the right steps and make the right moves. That's not saying not to splurge on your. I don't want to use the word splurge. That's not saying to treat yourself on occasion, but even that should be appropriate to what your budget is and where your goal is. Your goal should kind of dictate your budget, and then your budget should kind of dictate, not kind of, should dictate how much you can essentially splurge or spend on yourself in the times, because life hard, man. Being gonna sit down here and cut like life ain't hard. So it's easy to use like spending as your crutch to deal with the everyday shit that we have going on in life, man. This shit tough. Look up.
Yeah. Now remember, I don't know. There's our next one that we need to pop on the screen, man. But this partner, I guess it was a music video, and he had red bottom boots.
I
And
see that video.
he make sure he showed that red bottom. And it's how he lift up his legs. It was just so cringe how this man had to make sure he show the red bottom soles of his shoes, man. We got so that when you see that video, you're going bust out in tears because it gets worse with each and every step. It's crazy.
Yeah,
But
everybody.
it's better you gonna see it.
Remember, he might have lie down and put your foot up.
And honestly, man was kicking the back of his butt basically, man. So maybe we should actually step away or stray away from even using the term fake it till you make it. It's really fake it till you make it is for the stupid folks. Let's coin a new phrase or a new term.
What would we say?
What would we say?
Emulate the persona of the person who is where you may want to be. But I guess that's not a phrase. Well, what would be a phrase?
Be the person you want to be, or
I guess that's it.
Something like that. Yeah.
We're gonna think on it.
Yeah, we gonna come back with something for it. Yeah, that ain't sound as cool as fake it till you make it. All right. So, all right. I see this on TikTok, but I did just see it yesterday and this morning as well. Talking about the fact that is lesbians or are lesbians more realistic in relationships? I asked that because in a relationship with a woman that they're with like a masculine female, she don't have that criteria of needing to be 6 feet plus and have 6 figures. Very accepting to a lot of types of women in that range. So are lesbians more realistic when it comes to relationships? Like, that's a legit question. I thought that makes sense with what he was saying.
Hopefully, we have somebody that can represent that community within the comments, shed some light.
Please.
But from my viewpoint and my perspective, this is what I think it is, right? So I think it's partly because there's still women you're dealing with. So they kind of could understand each other, I would assume, a little bit more. And they're more, I don't want to say more emotional, because I think we're all emotional, but they're more in tune with the emotional side and more expressive. So maybe that's what makes them more attractive, because I always found it funny, like the stud conversation, the one that looks like guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're obviously attracted to a guy in terms of like how they look, I think. So it must be something about how they maneuver and so forth that sets them apart. No, that being said, I don't hear some of them got to deal with the same shit. So
Hey.
I don't know if that's the case, but that's what I would like to think. I would like to think it has something to do with how they just maneuver a little bit different than men. And I don't know exactly how that is, but because to me they're acting like man, I don't know.
What about you, Brian? You have any thoughts on that one?
It's a bit sticky, but
Have
what I
fun.
can say from what I've observed and what I've heard, and friends I've had within the community, is like Web says, it's just a preferential thing, and it just goes to the people in the community you may have interacted with, because it's just like everybody else. They have their preference, whether more masculine or more soft look. It just goes to the type of individual it is. In terms of like height, that's maybe a more lax thing because there are many um, genetically born or assigned gender females that may fall into that height category. So I mean, I guess it'll toss that one out the window. But in terms of like the day-to-day things that they would have to put up with, it's practically the same. Especially the ones that I'm familiar with. They still have the same requirements. They got to handle business. They got to be the one, pay those bills. Bear with the emotional output. Even though, like Web said, they are still female, no matter how they may carry themselves or identify. So it was weird. I always got to put up with shit in a relationship.
Yeah, fun.
I call
So yeah, weird.
bullshit. All right, I call bullshit
Let me hear what you
because
got to say.
no. Straight woman preferences, especially the bulk and the mainstream ones that have something to say all the time, is stupid and it's unfair and it's unrealistic.
Tag your shit.
All right, straight woman preferences, the bulk, not all of y'all. So don't come for me for this generalization shit. What we see on social media with these straight women talking about what they need in a man and what we see in these videos and shit is stupid. Don't make sense and it's unrealistic. All right, sure. When it comes to lesbians and dealing with a dyke, it's another woman and they could really relate to your emotions and things like that because they're a woman and they understand your experience and stuff like that. But they have man raised by women and sisters and y'all don't look at them at all because your stupid preferences that's in front of even meeting who that person is stopping you from even talking to that person.
But Farai, let me ask you this though. But you just they have two different psychological builds. One
They do.
wants someone who you just said already that relates to them and gets their plight. One doesn't want someone who relates to them and feels their plight. They want the opposite, the extreme. I ain't just talking about in terms of the monetary thing because you have people on that side who, if you can get a pesh, you can't talk to them, period. But from what you just said, in terms of like that, a man raised by a woman and a straight woman wouldn't approach but he because he probably think he too soft. Maybe she wants some extremely hard because she grew up soft. But then you just said a woman, she wanted a woman who more relate to her and she ain't comparing that to a man. Well, she wanted a man, she that truly get a man. She don't want a man. You literally gave the preference. With the removal of the financial thing, you already gave the answer. Preference. They want the opposite. Some people, like you just said it. I ain't putting the words anymore. The people want exactly what they want and the similarity. So because they want a similarity, guess what? She didn't decide to go for a man. She decided to go for a female who's male presenting.
And that's very fair. That's very fair. The mind of a lesbian is clearly just different. It's clearly just more realistic. And let's just stick with that. All right.
I can't link up on this whole preference for. This is the reason I can't link up.
Let me hear you.
To be completely honest, right? I don't too much listen to what women say they want. Because they might be opinion, I don't know what the fuck y'all want. How you stand up there in front of me and say you want a 6 foot, $100,000 man? Your baby father ain't even that. You give him 2 children. That's what I mean. You give him 2 children. The reality is, right? You could say what you want. But for one, the majority of men is not that. So you're going to
But that's the
settle. So just
thing.
stop saying you
That's
want
the
that and just
thing.
deal with what you want to deal with.
But that's just life. You could say the things you want. Where like right now, I want $1 million in my bank account, but I gonna settle for what I have. I I want to be driving a '69 Mustang by driving a F-150 truck. I
But
saying what
that's
I
the
want,
thing.
but
That's
my
the
current
thing.
Hmm.
situation
We
didn't
So
allow me to
so what
have
you
it.
saying, Brian, is that lesbian woman that's more realistic in their mind are they more comfortable with
Nah, that's not
settling
what I
and
say.
not
I ain't
reaching
arguing
these
for your point.
unrealistic
I am not arguing for your point.
expectations.
I'm
That's
arguing
what you
for Well's
saying?
point. No, I'm arguing to that guy's point.
but
With
that's the
this
thing,
guy right
Brian.
here, I'm arguing to his point.
This the thing, Brian. You're not going out here balancing and saying, "Hey, I'm not dealing with nothing. If you want to come check me, you have to be a Mustang."
But I
Or,
have a different
or
build. You gotta remember we have different builds. I have a different build. You check what I said. I have a different build.
no, but that's what I was showing you.
You
The
know,
people them that
because
saying
the
that
life
is
that
still
we've been handed as what we are, you know,
mm,
we have to go through life with a different lens, and you know that. Tafari knows that. I have to be grounded in reality, because nothing can be handed to me. You check what I'm saying? Certain groups. Oh, I'm just saying because of what's been handed to us as what we were born into. You gotta be more grounded in reality. I can't go out with the hopes that somebody will come and save me. You know what I'm saying? Or
fair,
things are gonna
fair.
be handed to me. So I gotta live in reality and either wait for what I want or just go with emotional life. I can't be like, okay, creating an imaginary figure and then hoping that somebody check off every single box. That's not how life works.
But women do it all the time.
Hey, love is love.
Love is love. I like that.
Hey,
Love is love. Love is life.
so but for the ladies out there, to honestly, I just what's your thoughts on that? Have y'all observed
I
that
want the
when it
conversation in the
comes?
comments.
Yeah, for sure. We want to hear y'all. Have y'all observed lesbians being more realistic in the expectations of relationships and the standards and what they would accept from the partner as opposed to some of your straight friends or even yourself? Let's hear what you guys say. I think that it's a little questionable, all right? But let's hear what you got to say. It's all respect, it's all love out here. All right.
I want to hear the differences. I want about somebody that's bisexual to outline the situation with both men and women. I think I would be
True.
interested.
Okay, okay. All right. Next question. Sticking to woman. It's not grilling them. I mean, I guess it can turn to that. But we especially now with the modern day woman, we always hear about women being masculine and women chasing the careers and women doing things like that. And then when it comes to these women in dating scenes, especially what's portrayed on social media, they always mention this idea of men being intimidated by them.
Mm.
Have y'all ever been intimidated by a woman of your age range? I can understand if you're a child and it's an adult, but I'm talking about you both adults. Have you ever been intimidated by a woman in the same room as you?
I wouldn't use the word. Well, I would say no. I've come across women that was more aggressive and a little bit more, I would say, confrontational. But it's not that I was intimidated. I just didn't feel like dealing with that. Like I have enough stress in my life to deal with somebody I wouldn't deal with confrontational friends and them stuff unless it's like some kind of constructive confrontation. But if it's just like everything have to be like a confrontation, then nah, I'm cool. I feel like no disrespect to anybody. I find it a lot with like athletes. Like athletes a lot more, not that I said I don't want to be assertive and so forth, but they just remind me of myself. Like they want to lead. A lot of things have to be controlled by them, and if it's not that way, they're not really going for it. It becomes a friction, and me necessarily. Though I leave room for women to lead in certain aspects, I think leadership is like co-leadership. It shouldn't just be the man leading the household. I do naturally have things that I want to be able to say, hey, I'm going to take care of this. I don't really expect you to just back me up on this. I don't need you to come back me on this. Just back me up on this and ride behind me. And I feel like with those women, you don't really get that. It always have to be like a back and forth and kind of a who's more macho. So I wouldn't say intimidated. It's just I don't really want to deal with that shit,
And then what about in its intimidated in the sense of, or from the aspect of her making more money than you, not necessarily aggressive, but she just making more money than you. Have you ever been intimidated in that way?
Nah. To be honest with you, I mean, I've known women that made more than me, but never one that I've actually like tried to date or anything. I'm trying to think about it. I don't think I've ever dated a woman that has made more than me. I've been around women that's made more than me, but I don't think it's ever came to intimidation, which is cool. Like I respect it, I like it.
So question, I mean,
It's motivational.
so why you think you never went to a woman that have made more than you? Have they also been tied to being aggressive as well and more masculine in nature, or you just
Um,
any reasons?
to be completely honest, I just don't think I really buck up on any girl that made more than me. To be honest with you, I'm trying to think about it, but at least significantly more. Yeah, I have had women that made a little bit more, but enough to say like I could really adequately answer the question, or maybe just a little bit is enough to answer the question. If that's the case, then the answer is no. But anybody to say like they made some significant amount of money for me to even look at them like, wow, she doing really? Oh my god. Nah, I haven't run into any, to be honest. I think it's just luck and chance.
What about you, Brian? Have you ever been intimidated by a woman?
Just like this a female I've never known before. Like I just
This
walked
is
into a room.
whether
of,
you in a
boss.
relationship, whether you have encountered her and she was more masculine, whether have you ever been intimidated by any type of woman, really,
No,
of your
what's
same
basically
age group?
No,
And that is
why would
what
I
I'm
be
trying
intimidated?
to. That is exactly what I'm trying to boil it down to, people. Women, not all of y'all. Again, it's never a generalization for all. And I'll keep saying it because I just know how people can be. But I stays hearing women when somebody considers them to be more aggressive and they have heard it enough. They always, almost always say that this is just who they are and men just intimidated by it.
No, we're annoyed.
And
I may be annoyed.
exactly. And the reality is I don't think that most men exactly. That's what I'm trying to get across to our women listeners. Men typically are not intimidated by a woman. If you're making money, great for you. I mean, good.
Good for
It's
you.
not intimidation.
Love that.
It could possibly be jealousy, but not intimidation. If you masculine, get a bit more masculine. I mean, he's not intimidated by you. I'm sure that he could take you down if you was to buck up to him in that way. Most men are not intimidated by women, at least for the reasons that they take. So I really just hope that people understand that, because I always, always, always hear women making this comment that men are intimidated by them either because they are career women and making money and chasing the bag, or because they tend to be a bit more masculine and combative. And the truth is, we just don't want to deal with that shit.
That's the thing.
We
like,
don't want to deal with this rah fuck. Like, back up. Like,
even like men that come with that same energy, like I ain't dealing with them neither. Like,
right?
bro, like, cool out. Like, relax, dog. Like,
It's just the energy you want to be around. Like,
Yes.
it's really just the energy. I don't think it's intimidating. Like,
yeah, like
I don't think so. Like, nah, I don't think a woman could. You could be a billionaire. Like, okay, like, congratulations. I hope to be in a position you're in one day. That don't mean you could talk to me no
Talk to
way.
me a different way. You
Right.
passing that money around like it means like, all right, bye. You don't have to be around poor
I
police.
think what it boils down to a little bit is in society now, a lot of men's value is based on work and money. Society has kind of created that where you're a value based on your work, how much you can provide, which entails your income essentially. So now when a woman comes to that point, is like it gives you that feeling of like I'm above certain men because of I'm fitting the box that is the criteria for men to a certain extent. So you naturally, I think some of them naturally carry on that kind of persona. And I think there's a lot
Hmm.
that probably don't. But I think that's kind of what it stemmed from. And because you're not getting the success you want, you then start to say men is intimidated by you. Because otherwise, what's the point to even sit on here and have that conversation? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? Something must be happening where you're not getting the men them or something. So it's no they're intimidated. Like, bro, who cares, bro? To
You
be
just
honest.
say it right there where it's a rare occasion that you encountered someone or dealt with somebody who made more. You don't go around tossing, you must be intimidated.
Like,
No.
you know what I'm
That's
saying?
a
And then the
single
thing is,
person thing to say.
half of them won't even accept a man that's not making more than them. You know what I'm saying? So how much case did you be running to where you intimidated man? You already dubbing these men from the time they look to you because they ain't making enough. Like, come on, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I
it's,
want to
it's,
ask you,
it's
do you guys think you could be with a woman who is making a significant amount than you?
I would love that.
Significantly more than me,
I would love that.
that wouldn't be my first choice.
Why?
If I wouldn't pursue a woman that necessarily just making more than me.
Why you say
What
that?
if that wasn't the case to begin with? What if it started off on the same baseline and then boom, true,
If that's
support,
that's great. I'm happy
but
for you. We together
but
in
her
that case. We
starting
already been
baseline.
together.
Okay, but so
Like,
now let me ask you, why not then?
so I'd say that what I'd say is when I was in UF back in the days, few years back, and my wife now had come up. I already for one I let her know half rip with these courses. I am not going to be able to work a full-time job. This workload is crazy. I cannot handle working a full-time job. So half rip, we already know she would have been the one paying for rent and doing all this stuff. All right, but I ain't gonna lie, that did not feel good for me. It just didn't feel good, and not like I chose for it not to feel good. It just didn't feel good. I wanted to be the one to be able to do that. So it didn't. From my end, it just made me feel a bit insecure. I'm not gonna lie. I did not like that feeling because I wanted to be the one to pay the rent. I wanted to be the one to take her out to dinner. My wife taking me out to dinner every time. I don't have no money. I ain't making money. In school. It did not feel good for me. I'm not going to lie to you. So because of how I felt in that situation and during that time, is why I think I wouldn't be with a woman if I was single or go with a woman off the bat that's making more than me. Now, if I'm well off and I'm doing fine and I could still provide in the ways I would want to and you making more than me, I could care less. And if we're a team and it's not no selfish vibe going on, and not like I can try to splurge your money away from you and things like that. But yeah, anyways, now I ramble. My answer is no, but yeah.
I think that's why the discussion that we have around money and stuff, I think that's why it's so destructive because even outside of relationships, you know how much people just within their friend groups and just within life feel insecure by the amount of money they make that because there's so much pressure to keep up this image. That's why like they fake it till they make it and all these things kind of come into play. Some people faking it till they make it, not even like not some people faking it till they make it, not even to like in the sense of I want to get to that point. Some people doing that just to keep up so they can feel good about themselves because without that they don't feel good about themselves. They feel like they're going to be ridiculed and they can't present themselves as themselves. And I feel like it comes from for one, the capitalistic system and just the way, like I say, for men, you're almost valued based on your output. You value based on your work and your output. If you can't do that, who are you essentially? You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't shit. I remember I tried to tell you that you ain't shit. Especially if you ain't looking good to everybody, then you're the ugly man, no disrespect to nobody. No, it really upset. You know what I'm saying? So like this the capitalistic system is a very dangerous system for what mental health introduce social media into it and watch everybody highlight reel. You can start to really feel insecure that you can't provide just watching our next man and how he able to provide to his girl. So now insert yourself in a situation where a girl making more than you, in the back of your head, you could be thinking, well, as soon as a man are making more than she that could do the things she might go. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't feel. So I get it. I get it. I'm not saying that that was what you was thinking, but just thinking about it and things I've seen and so forth. It's a destructive thing, man. And especially now when time's so fucking hard. Like I don't
I
keep
agree
saying.
with that 1,000% because I mean, even in the moment when I felt like that, I'm a person that has internal dialogue and speak to myself like I'm speaking to two separate people
Mhm.
from different perspectives, and it's like,
Yeah,
why you even feel like that, dude? Why? Why do you even feel like that? You're acting like a little bitch, dog. She loves you, and like I'll take my shit, just going back and forth with myself like that. But hey, it was definitely a feeling I had to overcome and fight that insecurity. So, what about you, Brian? Would you go with somebody or pursue somebody that's making significantly more than you?
Um, if it was on the market, I don't like see that's a bit weird. Like, again, in the pursuing thing, like I would just be pursuing that person just because I feel like there's something to pursue, and that sort of thing in dating between men and women are kind of different. Like I don't think I would have lead with a question to know her finances unless she just put her out there. You check what I'm saying, or she has like a job where I would definitely know she making more money than me. You know what I'm saying? So unless it's like presenting itself to my face, I wouldn't know until I actually get to know this person. And maybe by then I would be invested enough where I would just have to let her go and it wouldn't matter to me. Like I don't think the first 3 dates, say if she don't have such an obvious career or isn't somebody who's like a public figure where I would know, be able to guess. Rather just always say like, you're an engineer, how much do you make? You check like that. That's not something me as a person I gonna lead with those kind of competition. That might vibe. So if me having
You
to
said?
find out about it along the line, go ahead.
Oh, I was going. Well, you
But
finished what you were
people,
saying?
no, go ahead. No,
Yeah,
let the
no, I
flow
was
go
going
off
to
in.
just put in that
Mhm.
with my answer, I did go in with a few assumptions as well,
Mhm.
such as she is the type that leads with her money. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, it depends on the person. Like a person leading that way, I ain't going after because then that's showing that money you have is
turn off.
part of your personality. You check.
Right,
If,
right.
if money is your personality, then you period. I just don't want to deal with you. Like, you know what I say? Like, that's just. I feel like you annoy me. Like, you might say something to try to play me. Like, I get more money than you come up my thing. And I don't want that. I go already see that you gonna be a body. You check.
Did I
But I
answer?
also want to
No,
um
you didn't. You didn't answer it.
I want also dive into that segment that web create that little bridge the man. Like I feel like that deeply in terms
which
of
which bridge?
when he talk about it in internally within the friend groups. Like that's where I think that will hit a
Mm.
lot, and we don't talk about it. Like a lot of friends be trying to just keep up with each other. You don't feel like you're barely breathing. Like even me, I was victim of that. I remember being in college, being broke on my face, and your friend didn't want to go to the bar. Your friends. Your time gonna come to pay, like you gonna be the person where everybody buying you a drink, you know what I mean? And you got fit, and then it's your time to buy a round. Time your round come around, the friend group I grow from 3 people when it start, now it's 5.
Seven.
You know, you feel obligated, you gonna try to tell that man, watch out, this is my last 60, and you gonna be a damper on the vibe. So I mean it depends again on the type of friends you have, like or the longevity or the band you have that you may be able to share that or not share that. I think that'll go hard, man. You see that, males and females, like, you're supposed to be taking that trip to the Bahamas, but everybody else going. You want to be the one to not go. You just pay that credit card. Now you about to max that again. Like you make it to the trip and now you expected to drink mojitos and lobster dinner, but you spend it all to just get here. Or you telling them you're watching your figure, you gotta eat a salad. No, that it'll hit hardest trying to keep up with your friend groups if you be honest with them, man. That's why I say, sometimes you gotta have budgetary friends. Like you hang out within your friend. Those people who have it, you want to be around them so you know how to get it. But let them know that you ain't there yet. You're there in a mentorship. Let that boss and be your mentor and you be a mentee in that friend group because it'll only help you the most. Check. So I tell you how I feel if I have experienced that plight to keep up within your friend group. Maybe not Mr.
Without,
Webby, not he's a man people look up to.
This man, no.
I mean, without a doubt, I mean, there've been times where I legit spend my last just to be able to buy a round back in college days.
Check.
Like just to be able to keep up and look to that image. And but to be fair, these are my close friends. You check, so I would just try and keep up, not to look like a loser. With y'all, if I have no money, they had points in times where I tell you I ain't even coming out. I don't want to come out because I ain't got no money. I don't want to come out. I don't want people just buying me drinks and shit. But then y'all will be like, shut the fuck up, dude. Just come.
But that's a different kind of relationship, and that's exactly
But that's a different type of relationship. So I've experienced it with people that I'm not as close to because I guess it's easier to stray away from being yourself and safeguard your the full authenticity of who you are around certain people, especially at around those ages.
Interestingly enough, right, I've experienced it. I spent a long time trying to fit in, you know what I'm saying? To a certain point. So if it come like everybody's spending, I will find a way. Like there's times I would legitimately find a way to say, all right, I'm gonna be able to do this here, I'm gonna do this here, just so I could be able to fit in. Interestingly enough, is when I start making more and more money, is when I start to actually go away now that I have enough money to fit in wherever the fuck I want to.
I don't want to be in that space no more.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a vibe like where it's like, no, I would tell people straight, like, bro, I will come out. I don't get invited to a lot of things now. And for me, it's like, yo, I will come out, but if I'm being completely honest with you, I am on a budget. And that's not even because I don't have the money. I just really have a budget. And I just essentially tell people, like, listen, my budget dictate my spending, bro. So if you want me to come out, understand that. And I'm not going to be doing this. Either man, sometimes I will go out and I tell people, a lot of some people here, well, here where I am, know that for me, sometimes some nights maybe a beer, 2 shot, and I done. I cool in, and that's what you get from me, you know what I'm saying? I mean, bang no wrongs. Other times it may be a night where I know if my budget will allow it, I may buy a round, you know what I'm saying? But then when I start to see my game too rowdy, I'm like, yo, listen, it's all good. We could take chance buying rounds, but just know that I gain to my budget. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't plan to drink anymore for the night. You know what I'm saying? And I think people respect that. You know what I'm saying? Especially to me, if they don't respect it, you don't need to be around those people.
Right? Yeah.
Like
exactly.
And don't be wrong. Like you said, there's two different kind of friends. So you have to be able to have your own discernment when you come around people that's not your closer friends. But in terms of your close friends, they generally have some kind of idea of your budget, or they may ask a budget. I have a friend, shout out to my nigga Kwan. Me and Kwan is some expensive people usually. But even being so, we always ask each other like, yo, what's your budget? What's your budget? What's your budget? So that we don't run into those kind of situations. And then, like I said, if a person don't have the strength, just like Farai said, maybe I say my budget is 500 and he really wants to spend 700, and he may be like, yo, I get you on the two, bro. Don't even worry about it. And that kind of conversation I think more conversations and it's usually amounts. Well, I'm a man, so I'm gonna speak about it from this perspective. I think more conversations need to be held within our friend groups about our boundaries and these kind of things. Because some friends that start to move like they're trying to flex, and you know, if we have more conversations, I think a lot of these things could be addressed on the front end, and you don't even run into these problems. But I think because you hide it, and some people feel like they need to, even though sometimes that's not even the case. Like a man, they don't even care if you broke or not broke. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right, yeah.
in your own head because of how you see this person maneuvering. We just need to have more, like y'all say, just be more honest and open about what our situation is and what we plan to do. And so forth. Even with goals, like if I see a man tell me his goal is a thing and I see him spending too much money, my boy, stop. Like, what you doing, dog? Now, if you fight me or not, hey, go spend your money. Like me, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's my take.
Yeah, that very good points, man. Very, very good points. And I want to take home that fact that if that person have a problem with you either not being able to or not wanting to spend a certain amount of money, like Webb said, I ain't the person to be around. That's a toxic parasite. Back away immediately. And y'all notice though, that type of mentality specifically, the one trying to fit in, and Webb allude to it as well. That's usually in your broker times.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like you want to spend all this money in your broker times, just similar to when you see like pictures with Jay-Z around his friends. Man, no chain. I mean, he have chains and stuff, but he ain't flexing and doing all that extra. Man, just chilling. He ain't trying to go do all that, and that's typically what you see when you start to. And I guess that comes with maturing and becoming a little more financially literate and all that stuff. You really start to dial in and take respect your money, really. And that's what it is. So, and this is the last topic because we reach into the hour, guys. And this is one that I know affects a lot of men. Have you ever been, or have you ever had a hobby, just kind of want to decompress, just chilling, just doing something for you, and your woman have a problem with it? Like you come from moving mountains, or you come from spending 90% of the day with your woman. You come from doing something, and the moment you take the time for yourself to decompress for something that's just for you and don't include your woman, it's a big issue. Before I even come to y'all, and I'll start with just video games because this is one of the big ones that women have a problem with. This is the main one women have a problem with. But if you look at any other hobby that takes time away from the woman and it's just something for you, you will see problems in there as well. But my question to y'all ladies, what's the problem with playing a little game, then, man? What's the problem? I can understand if man playing it 24/7, 6 hours a day, every single day. Patience. That the man is. Unless he making money, he's a hound. But if the man taking a little hour, a little 2 hours, 3 times a week, he just trying to chill and do something, what's the problem? Please tell me what's the problem. And it even just games. Man, the moment she see you chilling on the couch, relaxing and comfortable, the world of chores pop up, the world of activities, the world of things pop up in her head for you to do. So what's the problem, ladies? How y'all feel about that? Have y'all ever experienced something similar? Not even just with your significant other, your mother, your auntie, just women in general. When they see a man comfortable somewhere, it just hurts their soul, and they have to just take that away. What is what y'all feel about that? Shit.
I go. To be honest, right, it happen all the time. For one, we're playing the game. Like, woman don't want. Hey, unless they're the one giving you this extreme happiness, that fucking a problem. They have something that will pinch them like, he a little bit too happy. Let me go. I don't know. I'm distressed. Ain't no way he is happy and I'm not involved. I don't know what it is, man. Or maybe for some, I think is that they don't have something that makes them that happy. So it makes them uncomfortable that you are in this position happy. That's when you guys start to promote them having their own goddamn fucking hobbies.
Well, not
No,
even that, you know. Some of them have their own. Still no matter.
I don't know what it is, man. I think it's just like I don't know. Something else making us
Listen,
happy. It's like watching our next girl make us happy for them. You know, bro, women hate a lot of things. You know, when you talking to your partner, it's like, why is you laugh for your partner? Them too hard is a problem. Wow.
we don't
My
laugh
partner
like that.
funny, you fucking telling me.
If you do something 2 days straight, if you go run ball with your partners outside in the street straight 2 days, you always out the house. You never want to be home. You don't care about me anymore. You just go. You love your friends, man. I'll type a thing like that.
I'm not sure what it is.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it could deeply stem from some kind of insecurity. We're like, man, it's
Listen,
hard.
But it
I don't know what
seems so common amongst women.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy.
It's
watch.
Or,
Do
or
a
maybe
better
it's just in
job.
our heads. Maybe it's in our heads because of the fact that we're getting pulled away from something that we're really enjoying. If we're making it a bigger deal than it actually is in real life.
Could be.
Maybe it's just a
Hmm.
coincidence.
maybe.
Because, okay. All right, let me ask you this. Let me be the advocate on this one. I ain't disagreeing. That's the player, you know, the advocate. Is she asking you to go cut the grass because you playing the game, or is she asking you to cut the grass because you get free time, and before you said you didn't have free time?
But the thing is, even if you already cut the grass before playing the game and you did all the possible chores you could think of, when you go on a game, at least from the man's perspective, it sounds like you found something that didn't have to be done now. And you made it your duty and your business to make that a top priority only after.
Or maybe it's a sense of neglect where you don't decompress with me. That could be it.
But
Why ain't you involved?
hear this out. Here it
You're
is.
stressed with.
You could decompress for an entire 8 hours of that same day, and this is obviously a free day, because if you have 8 hours just to decompress, you're not doing much for that day. But
This a chill day. Now, that
you
go on your
could
calendar,
be
bro.
with
You
a
can't just
woman
chill.
a chill day, 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 9 o'clock hit, bing, you put on that game. That entire 9 hours that you spent with her completely gone. It don't exist anymore. You don't spend any time with me.
Because how dare you not give 10?
Listen,
Shame on you.
you see how we here laughing? Them
Yeah, that's
are
an
one
issue.
that kind of laughter for them. They don't understand the band between the game and you coolness and things.
Because
When they hear that overjoy, they're like,
everything gotta
you
be a
don't laugh
joke.
like that with me. So they hate him. That's why I'm telling you it is. Like, they just
Right,
hate him.
right now, everything is a joke. But them can't crack them thing a joke, and then everything is a joke.
That's
Bro,
why
even, right?
I don't know it.
And it's the last example. Even if she about to go to sleep, her eyes closed, and you're not tired, you don't need to go to bed yet. You spend the time in the bed with her, she now fall asleep, and you go to play the game. It's still an issue, even in the sleeping moments, bro. And then
Bro,
when you go, when you go in bed with she, right? When you go in bed with her, and y'all just chilling, she on her phone. It's not like y'all having no big up conversation or anything like that. She on her phone. So what the hell? You just want my presence, you just want me to be around, but not want like talk. So why can't I go do something for the I man? All right.
Download the game on your phone and lay it on right there. You deaf?
You always on your phone.
Well, answer. Somebody answer in the comments, please.
Yes. And ladies, let us know if we're crazy. Let us know if we crazy out here, because
Or just give your reasoning behind it.
Please give your reasoning and give your logic and help us to understand.
They're gonna deny it.
They're going. Hey. So come out, ladies. Let's hear your comments. And men, if you experience this, because I know you have, if you have encountered a woman, you have definitely encountered this. And I am confident with that statement and with that generalization this time, all right? I think that all of y'all women do it. Every single one. 100%. 50 out of 50. A billion out of a billion. All right? So let us know your thoughts on that, man. And before we go, new season, as we calling it, because we fell off. I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't an intentional new season, guys. Life hit. Everybody had this shit going on, and we fell off. That's really what happened. Ain't no excuse. That's just what it is. But we back. So with us being back, let's bring that gratitude in, man.
I want to give gratitude to any creator in the world that put out positivity, that put out any kind of content to help people move forward in their life, whether it be financially, spiritually, mentally, whatever the case is, because I found out myself a lot of moments drawing back from some of the things I watch, some of the things I've heard, and to be able to deal with all the things that's combating us in life. So I really want to give gratitude to all the creators that's out there doing positive things and giving
Bryan.
positive sort of word songs.
Yeah, I want to give gratitude to the partners that we have in our lives that work with dealing with us, because we deal with them, but we gotta give gratitude to them for dealing with us, carving out this time away from them to get onto this pod, break up the unity. So give gratitude for the patience that's bestowed upon us. Thank you, other parts.
Sound like Bryan getting a glare right all
Hey,
now.
hey, you see them things with little beast standing on, hey, say this.
I see his eye go to the right a few times. He reading. But I want to give the gratitude to just growth, man. Back in the days, I was the type of man, if my mom give me $1 to go buy a water from the concession stand, I would pace back and forth, whole half anxiety attack, hyping myself up to go speak to this person to ask them for water. I was that type of person, So yeah, I just want to give thanks for growth, because today, see a random post of a person selling a house, but the pictures wasn't necessarily up to par, and they had a number on there. I just call and say, yo, I do professional images. Would you like to boom 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 bram and set up a whole gig for next week? So I want to give thanks for that, because that's something I would have never do back in the days. God damn.
Before you continue from there, yeah, no, that's my kind of tax. So I want to make sure people get a lesson just in what you just said there. A lot of the opportunities is out here, and it's gonna slap you in your face. You have to seize the opportunity, and that's exactly what Tafari did. You know what I'm saying? He was able to go out there, and he saw an opening that's a need, and he positioned himself and offered not only that person an open opportunity, but open an opportunity for himself as well. If you could solve people's problems, you're gonna make a lot of money in life.
Yeah, so thank y'all for coming through. We about to be about a lot more. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. And like Pops, I always say, peace over the heart.